Hi, I'm Ross Blankenship, the Investing King. I want to give you some inside access into the best tips to help you as an investor make some serious money. Listen up as I reveal some secrets just for you.
Hey there, this is Ross Blankenship, better known as the Investing King, and I want to review a site that's becoming pretty popular amongst investors. You may have heard of it if you're watching this video. You're no doubt interested in investing or trading and want to know a bit more about a site called Wealthfront. Wealthfront is an automated trading platform. It's a sort of new class of robo trading or robo investing, as I call it, sites where you can essentially put your money in passively, hopefully grow it over time. So the site I'm reviewing is Wealthfront. And I wouldn't be called the Investing King if it weren't for my extensive knowledge about investing products, services, and things like that. So the three things I look for when I'm reviewing a new platform or a site for investing are the personal experience I have with it, the usability factor, and the cost associated with it for the investor himself or herself. So let's start by looking at the personal experience I have with it, which is to say that I've been on the site and used it quite extensively for the past year, and I can tell you the personal experience I have with this, I'd say it's average. I mean, I don't think that the Wealthfront provides anything different or anything nuanced compared to other robo trading platforms such as Robinhood and others like Acorns. I really don't see a big difference between Wealthfront and others. I mean, one distinguishing factor that they try to emphasize is this idea of what's called tax harvesting, which is the practice of selling a security that has experienced a loss and then sort of shifting around so that you offset taxes on both your gains and income. That's a mouthful. Basically, that's one of their distinguishing things they advertise, which is Wealthfront says, we do tax harvesting. We take a little bit more of an active approach on a passive account, which is a little bit a bit of an oxymoron. So I'd say that's probably the only distinguishing factor. In terms of the usability, I think it's good. And when I say usability, I mean, what is it like to use the site? It's pretty simple. They have a mobile app that's fairly easy to use. Not a lot of fanciness to it, which isn't always good to have. I mean, I'm not looking for a fancy platform with a bunch of bells and whistles, so to speak, that are a little overdone. It's pretty simple. The cost, now this is where it gets a little interesting because Wealthfront tends to advertise low fees. I mean, if you go to their site, particularly on their hour low fees part of the site, it says zero trading fees, zero hidden fees, and advisory fees, right? I want to distinguish this, and that's to say that, or I want to tell the truth here and say that there are fees, and that, for Wealthfront to say that people are paying up to 3% per year in management fees, that's actually not one that I've heard very often. I mean, in other words, they're not being straight with us here, and they're not saying exactly the truth, which is that there's not one wealth management firm that I know of that's charging 3% per year. If somebody's charging you 3% a year, then you're getting screwed. So, for lack of a better term, so they say that they're better, that they only charge 0.25%, that the traditional advisors charge more than 1%. The reality is that's not always true. I mean, if you want a hands-on approach from a wealth manager, you might pay less than that, and you can also negotiate your fee to become less than 1%. And also, I want to make it clear that the purported low fees that Wealthfront is saying isn't actually true, because that 0.25% annual advisory fee, free up to $10,000, that adds up. I mean, that does take away from your long-term gains, your long-term capital gains. I don't buy into what they're selling, which is to say they're low fees. I mean, they have a crafty calculator on a site saying, if you put this amount of money, how much do you pay? And the reality is, even if they're saying you have $100,000 invested and you're only paying $20 a month or less, it still does add up. And that's not necessarily a low fee, especially because I've said this before about robo-advising. They're not doing anything. I mean, they say they purport to do this sort of tax harvesting, effect that's supposed to help you, but the reality is they're not doing anything. It's all automated. So their fees should be less than 0.25%. In fact, 0.25% is high on my book, and frankly, what I believe is as to be reasonable. So the bottom line here is, what do they need to improve? What does Wealthfront need to improve? first, generic investing advice. It's completely generic. I mean, if you sign up for an account, you're basically investing in these ETFs, these exchange traded funds through Wealthfront, which are long-term plays. I mean, this is not a day trading platform by any means, but it's a long-term play where you invest in a diversified group of stock assets. Okay, that's what you're doing when you're investing inside or into Wealthfront. It's like the crowded, herding the sheep towards the stables. I mean, you really lose out by becoming a conformist. By investing as if you're a conformist, you lose out on potential upside. And this is what I keep saying over and over again, which is that you have to realize that these auto, robo trading platforms like Wealthfront, Acorns, Robinhood, etc., they all limit your upside. Okay, think about it. If everyone's investing in the same ETF and the market S&P is growing at a pretty steady rate, you miss out on the upside. Okay. I'm not saying you need to be a day trader, an active trader. However, you put a cap on what you could do if you were instead to do your own research, to understand companies and deploy your own capital, which I advocate for. I think that's a long-term has a bigger gain. So generic advice, that's what they're offering. The fees are not, frankly, they're average or below average in my book. And frankly, they need to lower their fee structure as well. And last, be very clear, this tax harvesting thing is nothing new, okay? It's absolutely nothing new to it. For them to put on that's the distinguishing thing between themselves and others, and that's going to save you so much money. Frankly, think about this. You should not be investing or not investing based on how much taxes you want to save. I mean, that really caps your thinking, and that sort of parochial mindset of I want to trade or not trade because of my potential tax implications. That's a completely twisted train of thought. I mean, don't think about investing as if I'm going to invest or not based on how much money I'm going to save in taxes. It's an idiotic way to approach investing. Do not do that. Instead, think about the site that provides the easiest use, the usability is there, the affordability is there, and there's other factors beyond the sort of gimmicks and bells and whistles that they're purporting to offer. So overall, I rank Wealthfront a C+. It's a stringent grading criteria, and I don't think they fit the bill. They've got a lot to do to improve the Wealthfront experience, so be careful. I would not advise at this point using Wealthfront. I mean, frankly, why would you want to use an average platform, okay? If you want, and listen, I would highly recommend that you get the inside advantage, the knowledge over all the other investors out there. Simply go to angelkings.com/invest. That's angelkings.com/invest, and I'll give you the first chapter of my best-selling book for free. Just simply include your email, go to that site and put all your information. I'll make sure to send you a personal copy. My name is Ross Blankenship. I am the investor and the investing king in helping you make some serious money. Good luck and Godspeed.
Now, I want you to do something. Go to angelkings.com/invest, where you can get the first chapter of my book for free. Secondly, I want you to subscribe to the channel right here so you can continue to get the latest updates and investor tips to help you make some serious money. I'm Ross Blankenship, the Investing King, signing off.